Welcome back to the Draft Ranking Show. It's Friday. I'm Cody Carpentier, and we're here to talk about the top 5 wide receivers in the 2026 NFL Draft. I've been crushing tape the last couple of weeks, crushing it, because the Combine is coming up next week. We're going to be live, boots on the ground in Indianapolis. I guess it's not next week. Technically, it's about 9 days. We got all next week of shows. We'll be in Indianapolis live with Alex Dunlap, Matty Kiwoom, and hundreds of other media members down there, as well as 319 players, 32 coaches, 32 GMs will be on the field watching, not physically on the field, but in the stands watching these guys run and work out, and we chart wide receiver drills, and there'll be movement to this ranking eventually. But for now, through phase 2 of the process in evaluating the wide receiver position, these are the top 5 wide receivers for 2026. Honorable mention, just outside the cut at the wide receiver position for me, in no order. These are just guys out to the top 5, but in the conversation. We'll say, let's put it this way. This is what I'll tell you. These are the guys that are outside the cut, but have grades inside the top 100. Jeremy Bernard, Alabama. Zachariah Branch, Georgia. Skylar Bell, Connecticut. Malachi Fields, Notre Dame. Omar Cooper, Indiana. Those are a couple of the names that are outside looking in. I also have Chris Brazel and Antonio Williams from Clemson a little bit further out, but they're going to be just into the top 100 as well. So the top 5 for me goes a little bit like this. Number 5, Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC, 5'11", 195 pounds. My biggest worry off the hoof, I don't think Makai Lemon's going to be 5'11". I think we're going to be walking into that NFL Combine on Wednesday morning, and we're going to see 5'09.7". So 5'9", 7/8". That's my anticipation for Makai Lemon based on some of the stuff I've seen. If it's 5'10 and a quarter, okay, cool. That's okay. It's fringe, but I think it might be 5'09". I think we might get in that 5'09 area as far as height goes. The weight's not a problem, but not as big as I expect. Not as big as we should all expect. I kind of have him down for a 4.49 40. He did have a 20-year-old breakout his sophomore year. One of the best wide receivers in the class as far as yards per route run. Actually, the third best. So it goes Carnell Tate, 3.35 yards per route run. Makai Lemon, 3.13, and Skylar Bell, 3.14. Skylar Bell did that at Connecticut, by the way. He is the most dominant at the position outside of Skylar Bell, again, most so in the Power 5, really. For his total team's production in 2025, with 35.5% of his team's total production, 11 touchdowns, 1,100 yards on the year. My comp for Makai Lemon is Golden Tate. Number 4, these two guys have the same grade, number 4, number 3, so call it 3A, 3B. But number 4, we're going to go Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, 6'02", 200 pounds. Got him down for a 4.56 in the 40. He has so. Lemon has a high second round grade. Tyson has a high second round grade as well as Boston. Really high. Like, they're fringe. And these are not final grades. This is, again, just taking into account film and the season. So this is no testing. This is no athletic assumptions. This is no analytical background. This is all just film and season. This is just phase 2 in the process. I'm doing it a little bit different this year, but that's where we're at. And these guys, most likely Boston, Tyson, Lemon, are going to end up with first-round grades, but they're fringe as we speak right now. Tyson, like I said, comes in at number 4. He was responsible for 34% of his team's total production this year. He broke out at 18 years old, did transfer from Colorado to Arizona State, suffered multiple season-ending injuries in his career in college. My comp for Jordan Tyson is Tyler Boyd, coming out of Pittsburgh. Number 3, Denzel Boston out of Washington, 6'04", 210. Not sure he's going to be 6'04", but he'll be in the 6'3" area at some, which is totally cool. I think he's going to run quicker than I think some people do. I think he's going to be in the 4.44, 4.48 area. Broke out at age 20 in his redshirt sophomore season. 2.44 yards per route run, which is just about the threshold. Just about the threshold. It's a good spot to be in at Washington. I really like the separation skill that Denzel Boston brings. He's a really interesting one to comp. Very rigidy, I should say. A guy that plays the flanker position, the number 2 wide receiver spot, but I think he could play big slot. I think he could be a disgusting big slot kind of how you see Marquez Colston, Michael Thomas, and New Orleans. I think of Puka Nacua as a comp for him as well in that conversation. Number 2, KC Concepcion. I haven't figured that one out. KC Concepcion. He is wide receiver 2, 5'11", 190. 449 is my projected 40 on Concepcion. Broke out age 19 years old, had 919 yards this last year, 9 touchdowns at Texas A&M playing with Mario Craver. 28.8% of the team's total production in 2025. I see him as a slot first, X second. So he fits kind of my mold of what I love in these new age X wide receivers, which is that 5'11", 5'10", 6 foot, 190, 195 pounds. He's going to come in around 190, probably 188, which is cool. That's where Justin Jefferson came in. My comp is, wasn't going to disclose it. I just walked myself right into that having this conversation. My comp is Stephon Diggs. The Stephon Diggs tree for me goes a little bit like this. Floor, Zay Flowers. Stephon Diggs. Ceiling, Antonio Brown. That's how that goes. That's how that tree works for me. KC Concepcion is in that tree. Finally, last but not least, numero uno, Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, 6'03", 195. I have him for a 4.48. Some people I've talked to say 4.51, 4.54. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a 4.56. I said, hey, I think this guy's going to run a little bit faster than people think. These long legs are telling me something here. I comped him to George Pickens coming out of Georgia. He's a flanker by heart, but he can play X in the situation. Think around that T. Higgins conversation, right? I have George Pickens. This is the classic beta alpha that my man Nate Liss hates that I explained. It's the classic true 2 with perceivable number 1 abilities. This isn't a guy that's going to go out there and probably have a 1,700-yard season, but he's going to give you some 12 and 1,300-yard seasons. And if you have a super ultra alpha next to him, you're going to be very happy with Carnell Tate. And people question. I've talked to Alex Dunlap from Roster Watch about this, but having not been the true alpha at Ohio State, that's a dock on his profile. I don't think it's the biggest dock because he played with one of the alphas of our generation in Jeremiah Smith the last 2 seasons at Ohio State, and Emeka Egbuka played a different role than him last year and was a first-round pick. Carnell Tate is a first-round pick. Carnell Tate is my clear-cut wide receiver 1 in the 2026 NFL draft. So there's your recap. Carnell Tate at 1, KC Concepcion at 2, Denzel Boston and Jordan Tyson 3A, 3B, and Makai Lemon number 5 heading into the 2026 NFL Combine. Will be there live in about 10 days from Indianapolis, Indiana. Stay locked in. Click that like button. Click subscribe. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we'll see you on Monday.